No, I saw them there though. How are we doing? You said you wanted to be the one actress. Everyone, this is Kelly, which no one's ever going to remember everybody's name. No, Sienna. But then sometimes tells me what are you using? I'm Catley, full sister.
She's here waiting. Do you want to let her in now? And
Yeah. Foxy. Who knows Foxy? Oh, you might have met him before. The other girls don't. Yeah.
Where?
Where am I? You've got a background in it.
Yeah.
It's going to be floating head.
I'll take it off.
No, totally fine. Oh, yeah, we can do that.
I can only see both.
Yeah, I'm taking the off.
The brush is actually really good. Even the makeup artists that use it have said that it's good.
Hello!
I'll put it down a bit more. Yeah. Well, it's coming to. I normally do those at the end of the month, so I'll chuck one on for you for sure. Yeah, no, that'd be great.
You're doing a circle or a theatre?
No one more time to the back of someone else's head. No sugar.
Thanks for just asking.
Oh yeah, but no, Mackenzie's taking him down there looking after him.
How are you, Jackie?
Oh, yeah.
I'm good. How are you guys?
Hey, Jack, sorry, I'm coming.
They're all just hiding.
Oh, no stress. Take it easy.
Sorry, we are. Where are we? We're here.
Hi.
I just hold. Oh, does the speaker not work?
No, it works. Just turn it off.
That's cool. Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, my pleasure.
There are other people here. They're just not on the in the vish. They're going to start arguing. So tell them to type here.
That's fine. And done. All right. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Perfect. There you go. You got two left.
Thank you. Thanks. All right, Jack.
All right.
Thanks. Tell us.
Beautiful. You, the waitress.
Got legs.
Yeah, Ange, come and stick them up here.
Oh. Jackie's going to start.
Hi, Jack. Hello.
Demanding.
Just rounding up children.
Did you have a structure, or do you want me to ask you which products we want to know about?
Can do however you want it to do. I've got both set out, so depending on what people want to hear about first or most, go for the questions.
I'm definitely happy for you to do it.
Alrighty, I can do. So basically, I looked at this as like, what was the whole purpose of the reformulations and everything, like the Redefine one? And what they're trying to do is they're trying to make all the products consistent across the global markets, so that as we continue to expand, the same regimens are available in all countries. I was like, obviously, there's a couple of US products that will be prescription only in Canada and Australia. So, and that's Lash Boost and I think Brow Boost as well. But all the main skincare and ancillary body products, they want to try and make consistent across all the ranges. When they developed the technology for the Japan regimens, they went to they created a whole lot of like new molecules, new formulations and everything. So they wanted to then use that technology that they've spent millions and millions investing in and bring that into the new reformulations, which is what they did with the Redefine last year, and what they've tried to do with Soothe and obviously Reverse as well. The other thing that's prompted a big change with the Reverse regimen is that in 2017, the US announced that hydroquinone, which was the main ingredient in the brightening regimen, was going to become prescription only, which I didn't see as like a huge thing, because technology and skincare has come a huge way since 2007 when the Reverse regimen first launched. And whilst I like hydroquinone as a short-term ingredient, for long-term use, it's not really sustainable or suitable for the skin. And there are much better ingredients out there which have been harnessed in this regimen. So I'll start on the Reverse regimen because that's kind of the one I'm most excited about, and I think that's the one that I think most people our age and most people in Australia will actually end up using. So it's a slight difference. I think Redefine as well had like the changes and you could customize your routine. The reason that Reverse isn't customizable is because it's to target a specific issue. So the consistencies and textures of the products have sort of a narrow in what they can incorporate into it, particularly in regards to antioxidants, which is the rosmarinic acid in step 3 and the ascorbic acid in the step 3 PM. They're like quite difficult to formulate with other products and other ingredients as well. So it takes like a lot of money and time and skill to actually formulate a really good quality product. So the other thing I should mention as well is like your customers and even yourselves should probably be doing like 2 to 4 skincare, like the solution tools a year. With the changes in season, it actually changes like what needs your skincare have, the change in like summer to winter or those sorts of things. It's a good way to like confirm you're using the right products. And also I was like, with the launch of the new regimens, check and see those ancillary products that you can incorporate into your regimen or incorporate into your customer's regimen to get them the best results. Like I, for one, I was like, I think AHS is like probably one of like one of the best products we've got in our range. Like it really helps to increase that hydration level and really helps firm up those deeper skin cells, which really improves the health of your skin. So I really love incorporating that one into everyone's routine as often as possible. Yeah. So let's have a look at the actual products themselves. In terms of the Redefine regimen, I basically look at it in like three key areas, key steps. Number one, to like reduce pigmentation and discoloration. So there's quite a few ingredients that can do this, like your retinoids, your exfoliators, and the enzymes in a couple of the steps. And what they all do is they help increase cellular turnover. So what that does is that actually like clears off your top layer, like the very top layer of skin. And this is like where your dead skin cells sit. And that's what gives you the dull appearance and textured skin, fine lines, wrinkles, and things like that. So the next step is to regulate melanin production. And we can do this with a few ingredients like niacinamide, cajoic acid, licorice root, vitamin C, and also retinoids. And how these work is basically it creates so what it does is your skin basically creates like electrons which go into like the free radicals in the environment, and when they join they act like a magnet. But what happens, the skincare, like your UV steps and your UV protectors, like your antioxidants, when they join with these damaging rays in the environment, they act as an off switch. So they actually can't do anything to like harm your skin. So that's why I was like, it's really cool to be including some of those regimens as part of like your SPF step. And then the final, obviously, is to protect against those sun rays by using an SPF and prevent that further damage from happening or coming back at all. So, yeah.
Do you use Redefine?
I do use Redefine, and I'm started on Reverse now.
So how do you think we should best be using Redefine? Should we, like, I love the kaolin, well, is it even kaolin clay now?
Yeah.
The clay mask.
Yep.
But I want to be also using the foaming cleanser, so I've got the chemical exfoliant.
Yep.
Is it sort of morning and night? What's the best balance, do you think?
I use the foaming cleanser in the morning and the clay mask at night. Because I've got more time at night to really sort of use that physical exfoliator, and I can leave it on and walk around doing things, whereas in the morning I'm kind of a rush to get out the door. So you're still going to get the chemical exfoliating properties from your toner in step 2. So I like the kaolin clay because it takes your makeup. I find it takes my makeup or radiant defense off better than the standard foaming one. I found that with the Soothe one, which I've tried out already, that doesn't remove radiant defense for me at all. I've tried double cleansing. It didn't work. I know it's supposed to, and that was one of the things. I haven't had any luck in it, and I think that's what a couple of girls here in Perth who tried it out as well. In terms of like switching it up between what you're currently using and introducing a new regimen, I basically say keep using the same regimen that you're using in the morning and introduce the new one at night, because you're less likely to be out and about during the day, so you don't have as many environmental aggressors to like cause reactions and everything. So that's how I usually swap between it, because I came from like sensitive skin, acne prone skin, so that's sort of how I always bring it. So I've just started using the new Reverse regimen at night, because the other really cool thing about Reverse is it's got a lot of ingredients in it that are really good for hormonal breakouts and stuff as well. So moving someone from blemish who's only really getting those intermittent breakouts and everything, there's a lot of anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties within the Reverse regimen, which should target a lot of those same issues. And retinol is a fantastic ingredient for fighting those sort of monthly breakouts and intermittent breakouts as well.
Yeah, cool.
One more, sorry, you go.
I just wanted to ask the question. My favourite routine to do at night is the mix of Redefine and Reverse. But I would always, after those 2 step 3s, then put the PM Redefine on. Do we need to do that anymore now that we've got a PM?
So I think that the new step is a lot more hydrating. I did the same thing. I didn't find the Reverse and retinol moisturizing enough, so I would always put in either Soothe step 3 or the Redefine overnight cream. Yeah. It is a lot more moisturizing now. You can absolutely still continue to use a cream after that. There's no problem at all. There's nothing in there. You're not doubling up on anything that I can see that would be a problem. So you can still continue to incorporate those sorts of things as well.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Did you?
No, that's cool.
Yeah. All right. She's also going to wrangle the boys.
Exactly. Kids running around.
Filling all your citrus. AHS.
Yep.
So we were talking the other day about how, I can't even remember which video you did, and how it's better if you actually warm it up in your fingers and then press it into your skin. Tell me about it.
Okay, so because I've seen like a lot of people as well, like dropping it like directly on their forehead as well, and I was like, I've seen like, oh, it's everywhere. You're not the only one. You don't, because it's like such a high sugar product, and also it doesn't have any additives or parabens in it. Or I think most of our range has gone paraben free now as well, because it doesn't have anything to fight off that. As soon as you touch it to your skin, you're introducing stuff back into your bottle. So that's why you always want to sort of put it in your hand first. The other thing, because it is a sugar-based product, that's what glycerin is. By warming it up, you actually get those sort of tiny molecules like moving faster and better. And if you press it into your skin as well, it helps it absorb it better and faster, like straight through those dead skin cell layers on the top, because you want it basically sitting in like your middle layers. That's where it's really going to plump and hydrate your skin, and that's where it pulls in the water through your moisture barrier and improves that whole like layer of your skin. Perfect. You've got about like
another one, when you put on, and this was from another training where they were talking actually about, it was Panda Korma. She talked about how she's an unblemished lover and actually puts her cleanser on and often will leave it on for a little bit. So keeps it on for at least 60 seconds and then she'll wash it off after that. But she sort of described Panda's doctor in the US, and she described it as the longer it sits on your skin, the more time it has to work. I actually, and it could be just me believing it, but I believe if I put on the Redefine mask and I leave it on longer than 2 minutes, it actually works even better.
It does.
We were on that before. I sometimes watch a movie.
I agree.
Is that just us believing it, or do you think they're actually facts?
So before we even had masks, so I started as a consultant in 2018. I was using the clay mask as a mask throughout my whole time using Sue. And I did that probably 3 or 4 times a week. So what the Redefine clay one does, it actually absorbs the oil from your pores. So it actually acts as like almost like a salicylic acid, which is a BHA. So by drawing like that gunk out of your pores, like our pore tool and everything, it helps with that cellular turnover. It also helps like the blockages and everything. So your sebum can go like quite thick at different periods of the month, depending on your hormone cycle. So by pulling it out and drawing it out by using your product, same with like the pore prep solution. Pore prep solution is BHA. If like middle of the month when I was like, people are sort of prone to breakouts, you can use this one as a treatment on its own without even using the pore thing. If I'm cooking and everything, I'll put it on and walk around the kitchen with like, I kid you not, like what I'll do, I'll put it on and I actually like, I'll grab Guard wrap and like just put it on like that while I'm cooking. Yeah. I was like, you laugh. I was like, I've been doing it with the new reverse. I've been doing it with the new reverse spot treatment as well. Because what that does, like we never had that here in Australia, but with brightening and also like a long time ago, they had what was called acute care strips, which was like strong hyaluronic acid to like fully plump your lines and wrinkles and everything. So I kid you not, I was like, this was the other day, which I sent to like my team, like walking around with Glad wrap on my face because I was studying from home. And that basically, I know like we've all freaked out a bit this year having masks, or last year as well, having masks and everything. You go, I don't want anything like on my face which stops it from breathing. But it kind of depends like what you're putting on before. And as long as you're not getting like irritants and everything, the way I described masks to people who, and we only had like a week of it in WA, so not comparing Victorian experience at all, but it's like wearing a new pair of shoes that are constantly like rubbing against different parts of your heel and you're getting blisters. That's what was happening to the face because of like the elastic parts and everything and where it was in contact with your skin. And basically it's wearing through that moisture barrier and disrupting the way in which your skin cells sit, because they kind of, skin cells arrange themselves like bricks in a house. So they kind of go, you've got two touching and you've got one over the top. When that happens, basically it creates like a spiral through. So you've got deeper levels and everything. And that's why when people were putting on like products with active ingredients and everything, you would get stinging, irritations, and a lot more breakouts, because that moisture barrier and like your acid mantle is actually disrupted. So there are lots of products and ingredients in our range that help to rebuild those sorts of things. And it's about choosing the right ingredients for the right problem and addressing it that way.
Yeah,
I've got a question.
Mary, Lee,
Go for it.
I should have a microphone.
You know how we were talking about before how you put the Glad wrap on the spot corrector? Because I used to do that. I managed to grab hold of the reverse step 3, the American, the lightning, and that's what I used to do too. And people thought I looked a bit weird, but anyway, it did work. But with the new spot corrector, would you recommend, because this is what I've been doing, once you've put that on, if you don't have time to let it sit there before you put your next step on, the next step, should that be basically you pat that on, otherwise you're just rubbing that spot corrector everywhere and it's not going to really be doing much.
If you don't have time, I go less is more, because less will be absorbed quicker into your skin. Always use the AHS beforehand, because what that does, that basically prepares your next step and helps draw that in quicker. And basically find the time, because I was like, it's an expensive step, and it's like quite a small volume as well. So you want to make sure when you're using it that you're going to use it for like the best benefit. So if you've got like quite like significant pigmentation and discoloration over your whole face, you're better off using your reverse regimen and your intensive renewing capsules. It's a targeted spot treatment. So it's basically not really for use over the whole face. And whilst we've seen people do that and they have had results and everything, if you look at someone with like sun damage under UV light and everything, there are certain areas where you can see like the melanin difference, and that's basically what you can see on the top of your skin. It's basically there are more melanin pigments in that area of skin. So if you treat the whole area, you're going to be increasing cellular turnover. You're going to be basically regulating melanin production across a whole area rather than the specific targeted area that you're trying to treat. So
that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
That, so when you go to your step 4, after you've done your spot treatment, you want to pat that on. You wouldn't want to be rubbing that in.
Yeah. So if you're home at night and have the option, what I would do your dark spot corrector. I would put some Glad wrap on. I would walk around, like if you're doing your skincare earlier in the evening, do that, and then put the moisturizer on right before you go to bed and give it additional time to work. If you're doing your skincare routine right before you go to bed, basically put your dark spot corrector on, brush your teeth. That's about 2 minutes. That gives it time to work. Now, the other thing is that because of the consistencies and the thickness of a lot of the products as well, they actually do work to help hold some of your products against your skin for a longer period of time. So although you're saying, I can still feel it, and it's one of those products, it does take time to work. And even when you're using Glad wrap and everything, and you'll have it on there, when you take that Glad wrap away and everything, you'll still be able to feel the actual product like on the surface of your skin. That's totally normal. That is because we've got dead skin cells, and we've also got an acid mantle, which kind of goes, I'm going to slow time and only allow certain products in as we go. So that's totally normal. You just want to basically give your skin the best help you can to sort of ordering your products in the right order. So the other thing I like to go is basically go like thinnest product to thickest product. The only thing I will say is I think part of the corporate materials have said use your intensive renewing capsules followed by dark spot corrector. I disagree with that. I'm telling people to do it the other way purely because the AHS capsules have a calcium buffer. And what that does, that basically acts as a barrier. What your skin is basically doing, you've got receptors in your skin and it can only pick to take one ingredient through at a time. And a calcium buffer adds like a third ingredient in there. So it's basically saying, I'll take one of you, then I'll take one of you. I'd say do that before. I think that is slightly better than that. So I know corporate have said other way around. I've basically set up and I said, I think do the spot corrector first because I think the calcium buffer will slow the absorption of the dark spot corrector, and you kind of go, I want that absorbed before I want my retinol absorbed.
That makes sense.
And you can also almost focus on the rest of your face, not just the dark patches. Backtracking to the the pore solution. Yep. Why does Ams use that for her dermaplaning?
Okay, so would you shave your legs without putting shaving cream on or water or anything? Okay. Okay. The other thing is though, is that the skin, like the dead skin cells and thickness of skin on your legs and arms and everything, there's a hell of a lot more levels in your the top layer of your epidermis than there are on your face. So like the level of your epidermis on your face is like, it's about 0.2 of a millimeter. So it's teeny, teeny, tiny. Like, so what we want to do is like, you want to basically create that barrier so that when you are actually using a razor on it, you're not taking, because it actually acts as a physical exfoliator as well. It not only removes hair, it removes dead skin cells as well. Because I've been dermaplaning for about 4 years now. That was one of the things that I found like really helped with some of my acne as well. It was like quite difficult to do, but it does it. Your makeup goes on smoother, your products get absorbed better because you don't have like those hairs in the way as well. But by using like the pore prep solution, the other thing that works really well is you can actually do it with Soothe Step 2 or 3. And it's basically that moisturizer to help it glide over your skin so you don't get any like micro nicks or tears in that sensitive layer. So it's like go slow when you're doing it, and go in the direction of the hair as well to help so you don't get when it grows out, you're basically cutting the hair off like the right way so that when it grows out it doesn't become as ingrown. Really important to use an exfoliating step afterwards to make sure that you keep those pores open, because what basically happens is when you cut the hair off, you're basically cutting it off at the surface level. As you continue to use the steps of your routine and everything, dead skin cells, your actual products, your moisturizers can sit on the surface of the pore. So really important in those next few days to like keep it open. So I think Amber regularly does, I think the unblemish wash or mask afterwards to really help keep those pores open, because both those steps have let me have a look, salicylic acid, which is a BHA. Now that goes right into your pores. Like AHAs, which are a lot of the other exfoliants that we use, and polylactic acids, they work on the surface of your skin. BHA, salicylic acid, works within the pore itself. So does benzoyl peroxide.
Seriously need to put you in my back pocket with me.
Do you know what Jax just said? She actually just said, let me have a look, and like was looking in her brain. I'm like, can I have a look? Can you open it up so we can all see?
Oh, like thinking about it, because sometimes I go like, right, I need to make sure I'm explaining this at a level people can understand. So my sister's usually like, I run it past her and she's like, no, too nerdy.
I noticed you do that before. I'm like, she's slowing down because she knows how to say it in her brain, but not in our brain. It's like when you talk a different language, and we've got a friend who's Swedish, and he takes a lot longer to say things because he has to translate it first before he says it.
Doesn't come naturally in English. My question was about the reverse toner. It's quite
Yep.
different to
It is
the
different.
original.
It
I used to find the original one would burn my eyes,
Yep.
like fumes, and it was really strong. So I'd have to sort of maybe do it 2 or 3 times a week instead of every single day. But
Yep.
I found the new toner is like a dream, and this like
Oh.
it doesn't have that smell. It's like so smooth, and I just don't know what difference between the
It does
ingredients.
feel a lot smoother. It almost
Yeah,
feels
it's
like
I feel like it's quite fluid as well. You know
Yeah.
how the red
Yeah.
fine you feel like you
Lighter.
need more on?
yeah.
It actually feels like you need
Yeah,
almost
less.
less on
Yeah.
your
Yeah,
course.
it's kind of like soapy in a way.
Yeah, that's a good
So
description.
what they've done, they've swapped out a lot of like the harsher acids because like you said, I was like, it's quite a strong regimen. You're actually doubling up on chemical exfoliation and physical exfoliation. And that can, I was like, damage your moisture barrier and create irritation. Why they were doing it because I was like, it does, so the retinols and the vitamin C, they increase your cellular turnover and also the thickness of the skin. So because you're increasing your cellular turnover, you want to make sure you're removing those dead skin cells off the surface regularly so that healthy, brighter skin cells come through. But sort of the flip side to that is you can be over exfoliating your skin, and that was sort of some of the problems. So one of the things to like mention to customers or yourselves alike is you're the best judge of your own skin. If you are finding that you have irritations or sensitivities and everything, pare back, and you can definitely, I was like, I always, if you're experiencing sensitivities, skip the exfoliating cleanser in the morning and go toner step 3. Now, the reason you can do that is because you've basically done your skincare the night before. You're still getting that chemical exfoliation, removing of the dead skin cells with the toner. And then you don't have to double up on that step. That's also a really good tip for customers who are moving from a soothe regimen onwards, and also your unblemished users as well, because both those steps are quite strong and quite drying. So especially if they haven't added in AHS, they haven't purchased AHS as part of their regimen, a really good way to prepare them is they really need to follow the slow lead in, but they can also just tone in the morning, and that sort of may decrease some of that dryness and sensitivity. Now, with the reformulation, I'm really happy about that because that was sort of one of the sort of things that I looked at and went, it's 2 lots of exfoliation steps. By removing, what they've removed is they've removed most of the alpha hydroxy acids from this one. And this one I think also used to have salicylic acid as well. This one now has niacinamide and fruit enzymes. So it's a lot more gentle. It smells really, really beautiful. Like that was one of the things I did as soon as I got a hold of the products at Amber's launch, was smell them all and everything. I grabbed the ingredient list and kind of went, okay, we've got a lot more moisturizing ingredients. So for something that's just sort of taken the dead skin cells off the surface, your fruit enzymes will help to reduce that pigmentation still. So you've still got ingredients at every single step in your regimen that are targeting different problems within the regimen. But you've also got like the antioxidants to restore moisture and improve that collagen and elastin production, which is like helps fight those lines and wrinkles that we're also trying to target, as well as skin damage. It's also, so while you're doing things to improve the skin tone, you're also improving your skin condition and overall skin health. And every single one of our regimens does that and has ingredients at every single step, which is like something that I love. It's like, and it's not something that you see in a lot of other products. I was like, they have a specific purpose to fix 1 or 2 things without going, what if someone doesn't buy the whole regimen or isn't following on with that? And I was like, having used a lot of skincare products, is basically one of the things I always say, follow with the following step. And if you're a person that goes picks and chooses products across different brands and different regimens, the number of people that are doubling up or tripling up on like the wrong ingredients is enormous.
You're talking about the fragrance, every time I opened one of the new Soothe, I'd smell it. I'm like, there's nothing in it. It's not going to smell. Like, but I'd still smell it, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that reaction that you want to smell it first? But yeah.
Well, that's part of like the experience of a luxury brand as well. Like you start going through and smelling these things because that's what it is. It's like, and textures are so important and fragrances are so important. Like people aren't just buying good skincare at a luxury and a premium level. They're buying part of the experience. So that's also like why the aesthetic is really important as well. I was like, you look at that and you kind of go, there really is no comparison.
And that our packaging was as boxy as I do now because I look at I look at the new one and I'm like, oh god, that old one's
yeah, the old one was
and also just reducing like the waste as well. And it also means I was like, if you're customizing a regimen for, and that's the other tip. I think I've had a few people come in recently because they've married up like all the prices and everything. Like each regimen in our range generally has what I call a treatment step, and that's like the one step in the regimen that's going to do the most work, and you can generally tell what that is by the price of what it is. But if your customer is experiencing a sensitivity or a reaction to it, get on the phone with RF Connections. They are so amazing guys, and they're so willing to help out, and they will. And I've had 2 people come back to me, and when I've given them options as to what to swap products in, I said, go back and ask them if they will match that PC price or PC price plus the $5 difference or something of what it is. And they've come back and done that because they want happy customers. They want people to be really happy with what they're buying. So that's the other thing. Because I think a few people have had sensitivities to benzoyl peroxide in step 3 of Unblemished, but love 1, 2, and 4. So the reverse step, the PM step is a really good substitute for that one. I think so's the Redefine overnight lotion, but I think that one's slightly more expensive.
Yeah. Is there a reason why reverse toner is in a white, do you reckon? It makes me think there's something in it that they want that should be not exposed to sun.
Some of the fruit enzymes, it's high in antioxidants. So Redefine has niacinamide. So that one, that's why you can see that. The AHAs you basically want protected from sunlight so it doesn't oxidize. And I did this on purpose, hang on. So I've got an old step 3, and what I've left like the tiniest bit so that I can show people like what happens when products oxidize, which is why you want to use them. Because if you've ever had someone come back and go, your products are expensive, I'm going to use them once a week. And this has been an objection, but what happens is, see how that's gone all brown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So,
vitamin C, isn't it, Jackie?
Oh, hang on.
Is that the vitamin C?
And then if I show you the inside of my lip, so that's the 3C.
Yeah.
So what oxidizing means in terms of in chemistry is it's basically a catch-all term, and it means that a molecule is donating an electron. So all ingredients, all molecules basically have like a ring around them, and they want to try and get to 8. 8 is their magic happy number. So what they try and do is they try and grab things from other ingredients. So that's really so when the chemists are formulating these ingredients, they kind of go, okay, we want some of these ingredients which grab the dirt and stuff out, which is what benzoyl peroxide does, and salicylic acid and things like that. But it's really cool as part of an antioxidant, because what that does is they kind of go, oh, we've got extra electrons that are sitting on your skin, and as soon as those damaging free radicals in the environment go, oh, we'll touch your skin, those electrons that are floating around sort of unused basically pair up with these damaging free radicals and turn them off. So it's kind of like psych off switch. You can't, or like it's like your very own burglar alarm for your skin.
Yeah, you can't come in here.
Exactly.
So is it much less effective once it's oxidized?
Yeah, it basically stops working entirely. So that's that sort of keep an eye. So you keep an eye on your products and everything. That's also why there are expiry dates on certain things. So if a product is sealed and unopened and stored correctly, it will generally last 2 to 5 years past its expiry date printed on the label. If it's open, basically when it's open, you usually have, with most products in our range, about 12 months, give or take sort of 6 months. So 18 months at a maximum once it's open. So it's one of these sort of use it or lose it scenarios. It's not going to be as effective once it's open.
Do you, if you have those customers, which we all do, that, and I've been one of these people that's like, oh, I'll use it once a week.
Yep.
Do you say to them, sorry, use it or it's not going to be effective? What, like,
I basically, you've paid $250 for this regimen. I was like, you're wanting to get the best use out of it. The best use out of it comes from consistency. And it's also like I sort of prepare people going, and I was like, these beautiful before and after pictures are from people using their products every day. I said all the sizes and everything, I basically talk about it as it's a dosage. So each step in our regimen are 120 doses. So if you're using that every day, twice a day, that's 60 days, which is also how you can tell when people aren't. Now, to be fair, I find I generally get about 74 days out of my regimens, and I use them twice a day. And I do that because I was trying to track how often they last, how much I was using, because there are certain steps that I do use more than recommended. And moisturizers is one of those things, and toner. I love my toners, and even with the gauze pads, I go hell for leather. I do my neck, my décolletage, and right across my chest and everything, because I kind of go with t-shirts and everything. That's what's getting exposed to sun. When I'm in dresses and everything, I want, if I'm treating up here, I'm treating down here as well. So it's about sort of, I guess, talking about how you're going to use those products with the customers as well. And I kind of go, you're not going to see those results if you're not using, I go, if you can commit to once a day and let's check in and see how we're going. I was like, and do that 2-week check-in as well, 2-week check-in and then a month check-in, because by the 2-week check-in, you're going to see like most of your dead skin cells have been removed, replaced. You'll start seeing brighter. A lot of like reverse and redefine in particular, you're going to see a lot of firming of those muscles, not of your muscles, of your lines and wrinkles, sorry. With Unblemish, even with hormonal turnovers and changes like that, you're going to see really good improvements between that initial 2 to 4 week. And then it's slightly after, as you have that cellular turnover and some of those pimples start coming to the surface as part of just general skin cycle and hormonal changes, that you get that initial backslide in that probably 4 to 6 week mark, depending on your customer and other a few sort of hormonal things as well. So that's why you kind of go, okay, check, this is what, if you can stick with it, that you're going to see after you get over this patch. Same thing with reverse. Retinols are one of the ingredients that can create purging. So the best way to prevent anything like that, even if you have like a Soothe user or an Unblemish user, get them onto the intensive renewing serum capsules before you think about swapping to a retinol everyday step. Even if they only use that 2 to 3 times a week. The other thing with the intensive renewing serum capsules, if you squeeze out like half of it, you can do a half dose one night to the next. I was like, because the capsules, they'll last about 24 hours once open and exposed to air. After that, if you haven't used what's in them, because of the exposure to the environment and everything, they're not as effective. So that's another good way of like introducing that step, because obviously with Soothe root users and Unblemish users, you don't want them rolling, but getting that retinol into and on their skin will provide the biggest long-term benefit and really, really help with that skin health.
Amazing.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I basically go when I'm starting a customer out, regimen plus AHS, like non-negotiable. Try and take advantage of the corporate offers when they come out, because I was like, they are brilliant. They make such a price point difference. And we've been so lucky in this last year, the number of corporate offers they have to get those ancillary products, because a lot of the time what you'll find is corporate statistics show the regimen users order about 4.3 times a year. So that's also tells me that most people aren't using the products every day. And I myself found 72 to 74 days for regimens. That's longer than the 60 days. But as a consultant, I've got obviously multiple regimens, and I usually keep one or two spare, because my sister then comes home or says, I want my skincare and I want it right now before I fly out all over the country.
Sounds like mine.
So basically they know I've got a cupboard and sort of help themselves, and that's what's great about having a room at mum's house that I can store stuff in as well.
Yeah.
So where was I was saying, oh yes, so usage. So corporate basically statistics show that regimen users use 4.3 regimens a year. So that told me that, okay, it's not quite the 60 days, which is also why I was like, time those corporate offers. So keep an eye on those people who have either just ordered or getting due to order, and go, hey, I was like, I know you're due, you must be getting low. Buy it now, put it in your cupboard so it's ready to go when you're running low or when you run out of your next step. And then you also get the additional product. Like with the MD paste at the moment, that's a really useful step to use before the pore prep tool. And that's what I did last night. That removes like your dead layer of skin. It opens like the top layer of your pores, and also the oil helps to draw that sebum out from within your pore, because in chemistry, like attracts like. So sebum is an oil within your skin. There are oils and vitamins within the MD paste. With your Soothe users, they can also start to use it, not if they've progressed from like that damaged moisture barrier. Basically, start in areas like your forehead, like where there's like a bone. So steer clear of like the cheeks and jaw initially, because they're usually the areas that have the most sensitivity and are most prone to breakouts and everything. But if they want to use it as a body product, it's also like a good test to see how their skin is improving for the thing. So I basically go, if you start on your forehead and your body, and then you can use like your body replenish cream and things like that to sort of use it that way.
You are Yoda.
Yeah, I know, right? I'd be exhausted having that much information
So,
in my head.
I feel like I'm going to weigh my head down. Oh, goodness.
Thanks so much for your
Thanks,
time,
Jac.
I know, my pleasure.
And your skin looks amazing, by the
Yeah.
way.
Oh, I was like, I'm very excited to be getting on Reverse, because like I used to split step 3C and 3R, and I'd use 3C in the morning and 3R at night as part of whatever else I was using. I did that in the early days when I was on Soothe and also Redefine. So I love that it's incorporated, and anything that makes people like wear their SPF is like gold to me.
Yeah.
Oh, that SPF step is so nice too.
Oh, they are really cool. The other really cool thing is like, I think they say like 50 to 60% of pigmentation and everything can actually be reversed with sunscreen alone, just by like having that protective layer. And the other thing like that I like noticed with our regimens and everything. So this one here, let me have a look at how many mils. So that's 30 mils. So using it on your face, you should be using about 2.5, about half a teaspoon or a teaspoon. So that step there, if you're using it every day, should last you about 20 days. Now, most people don't use enough sunscreen, which is why it lasts so long. When people go, oh, I've got like 3 bottles of sunscreen left over, I'm like, how is that possible?
Yeah, so true.
Do you know, I will admit that I've used Reverse for 3 or 4 years now. It's like, I don't have sensitive skin anymore.
Yep.
Oh my God.
You would.
I was like a crocodile for 2 days.
Put him in with the new one.
Yep.
Oh,
And I, not like Jackie and I have always had sensitive skin. And with Redefine even I eased into it. But reverse, I was like, no,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
really want to be
I'm a badass.
Yeah. Whoops.
I can't wait.
Lucky.
So-
It is unbelievable.
Even me, my skin was sensitive to it the first maybe 2 times I used it, but when I was watching some of the trainings, they said to pop on step 3 in the Soothe.
I
So
should
I
have
put
done
the
that.
step 3 on, and that really helped because it just seemed like it was peeling away just the skin around my nose area.
I was
It was
like,
getting thin.
you know those like irritation lumps everywhere?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Which actually makes me excited because
Yeah, it's working.
then I'm like, oh my God, imagine what it's going to be like when it's really working.
Yeah.
So I didn't get any of that. It's just I must have buffalo hide.
Yeah.
or something.
I reckon my skin's like that.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just anything.
Well, just know that it is working.
It
because
is.
That's
We're
interesting.
crazy.
Yeah, it's good.
So it's good, to hear. I mean, I don't get that. But
Yeah.
it's
In-
not, you know.
In terms of using up your old like reverse regimens and everything, the exfoliating step 1 and the toner, really good on like dry cracked heels and like coming out of summer. That's like a really cool step to like pass on to your customers, and even like around your toes with like pedicures and everything. It helps loosen up those like dead dry skin cells, and around your like fingertips as well, with all the hand sanitizers and everything. Like if you've got splitting, cracked, dry fingernails and everything around your cuticles and everything, using your toners and things like that, particularly old ones and everything you're trying to use up, in those gentle exfoliating steps, because sometimes like the microdermabrasion base may be a little bit too rough if you've got like dry and cracked. Same thing, I was like, the sensitivities on your face with the cracked moisture barrier, that can happen with your hands, with all the hand sanitizers and everything that you're using. So because you've got such thick skin on your hands and your feet, using something that has like your AHAs and everything, really good way to use up those products. And if you really want to get started on the new products straight away and want to get them in the hands of your customers, I was like, you don't have to waste any of the products. They can certainly be repurposed for like scaly elbows, scaly knees, dry fingers.
Kira did like and I've done it twice, I've been meaning to do it more, but like a full Redefine mask, the old one around here. It
Yep.
feels incredible.
Yep.
My husband doesn't want to use the old Soothe anymore because he likes the new ones.
Yeah, Paul, my husband this morning, he's like, why are you opening that when you haven't finished the other one? I'm like, because I just want it now.
Your skin is literally glowing.
I didn't put any makeup on at all today because I thought I'm just going to leave it because I'm loving it at the moment.
Unbelievable.
We have got a little video from Kira that Paul's going to try to put on because I want you to see it as well, Jack. So we're just going to try and share. Yeah, and then you'll have a wee. I think I've done it someone else's one.
Probably.
It's different tonight.
That's different. Just warmed up. You've just warmed it nicely.
Maybe.
There we are.
Yeah, I love the new Soothe. Even the step 1 is really nice.
I'm excited to try it.
Oh, like the textures and consistencies of the new Soothe regimen. Like I used Soothe. I had cystic acne when I started, and oh my God, I've spent like, I went back and added it up. I spent $80,000 on skincare in my 20s, like trying to, like, it was my biggest expense that I had. And like, you wouldn't be able to tell now, but if I puffed my cheeks out like this, my skin would split and bleed. It was, and I basically got told my only option from the dermatologist was Roaccutane. And I went, I go out in the sun. I played a lot of sports. I was like, there is no way that was going to be suitable for my lifestyle. I just can't do that. What else have you got? And they kind of went, I don't know. And I go, all right, well, I'm going to have to do my research and find something else. So I walked into Vera's house to look after her kids. I'd never met her before. And I saw her box on the table. And I'm like, how do I talk to you about this? I was so nervous. I was like, I waited until like I'd finished the day, and I was like, by the way, I was like, I see like you've got products there. I was like, how do I buy them off you?
Was Mira the luckiest person in the world? Can you come
And I'm like,
up?
I kid you not, within 2 days, like my redness was like gone significantly. And I think I went back like a week later to see her, and she went, holy, your skin.
Wait.
And I just went, I know, it is amazing. Like the change was just so quick, so phenomenal. And I was like, I read straight away, I was like, oh, ingredients, like what's in it, what's working for me. And I just went, holy hell, like what they are putting into each and every step, which builds upon each other. Like it just blew my mind. I'd never had such a good reaction like to a cleanser as well, because usually like they're stinging or they dry and everything. I was like, that felt absolutely amazing. So like as soon as I got my delivery, I was like, oh, soothe, and I was like, it feels beautiful. It's so good.
I love stories like that, because that's when people talk about it being life-changing. That's when it is life-changing, isn't it? When you didn't have the confidence to go out and your skin, like you said, was breaking and you couldn't find anything to help it.
I wouldn't leave the house without makeup.
Yeah.
Ever.
Crazy.
Like,
Oh, well,
sorry, Jack, when Paul shared the screen before, can you see it?
You will in a second. Yeah.
So
Let
brave
me-
to have RT here as well.
I know. He's
Really
done
provided
everything this
everything.
morning. He's
Well,
cleaned
no, we
outside,
have
he's
some
helped
stuff.
clean inside,
What a man.
he's set up the IT for us.
All right, you ready?
We're hearing from Kira
Yep.
now.
it's full screen.
Hi teams Don't Stop and Transformers. Rachel's just sent me a message this morning. It's Sunday morning. I'm obviously pre-recording this. She sent me a message to say that you guys were all getting together today and if I could jump onto a Zoom with you all. I would have loved to have jumped on live. I'm out with these two at the moment, but Benji is in the middle of a 5-day intensive therapy block doing 6.
Oh no.
No, buffering.
Wow.
That's all right. I did that when I was listening on my phone earlier.
We'll blame Byron.
I was just about to say. Sorry,
On the
mate.
massage table each day for 5 days in a row. And I have, it's a tag team and I'm with him this afternoon. So unfortunately I can't be with you live. But I said to Rach, I would, put something together and send it through to you because it's so great to see you all catching up. Love nothing more to see those of you, especially being Victorians, being all together. When I thought about what I was going to say to you guys, something that's been really in my mind lately, and it actually goes with what I'm doing with Benji right now, is, sometimes with Benji's development, things slow down or they don't seem to be progressing very fast, or we just have a couple of those bad days. And a way that we get ourselves out of that negative headspace is to think about where he was at 6 months ago, or to think about where he was at when we were doing at that same holiday, that same time of year, a year ago. And it always blew our mind. And that was always something that would pull us out of the rut, is to think about how far we've come and then look at, how that's going to change in the next year or the next 6 months. And it brings me to a conversation that I had with Mel Seitz just the other day. We were talking about the new product launch, and she kind of said, how did February end up for you guys? How are you feeling? And I was like, we're feeling great. We're feeling super positive, great start to the year, because in my mind, I'm, thinking about this time last year. We'd had fires and we'd had the coronavirus start up and there was a lot of uncertainty. And I'm like, this is a great start. Like, I'm thinking such good things about it. And we were, I just throw off the cuff, we were probably over 60% up in February compared to February last year. Because this is another way that I'm just always thinking like that. I'm bringing that into my business as well. And she said, well, that's really great. To be honest, I don't think she knew that our percentage was that high. The Australian business as a whole was 17% up, which is great. But to think that Dream Builders as a whole team, 60% up, and the rest of Australia is 17, and then straight away my mathematics brain comes in and goes, well, hang on, I know that Dream Builders makes up probably at least 30% of the Australian business. If that 30% was 60% up, then we've really brought the average of 17 up from whatever it is for the other 70% of the Australian business. Pretty incredible, guys. And this is all of you. It's all of your sales that go together to form Dream Builders, volume, which in February was phenomenally 60% up. Now it's always, I remember back to Jen Usher saying to me one day, "Oh, what's your goal?" And I said to that my goal, I don't know what month it was. And, oh, my goal is to be 100% up, like double what we did last January. And I think she kind of brought me down a little bit in that moment, as if like you can't always expect growth like that. And you know what? I think things like that are what drives me to go, you know what? Well, we can, and perhaps we will. So I love it that 4 years into this business, and we're still getting growth percentages like 60% up. You know what? This month, March, right now, I think we're about to hit 60% up. Still with days, like 3 days. And offers. So I just think if you have a vision and you want to do it, you have your why, which you've all heard us bang on about a why. This is the right stuff, hot chips and fruit roll-ups. So stay quiet. That's what drives us to get out of bed in the morning and to do these things. And for me, just looking at some numbers, writing some things down from last year. If you're new in the business and you've been around for 6 months, write down.
There'll be no sugar in those.
And
like natural. It'll be all natural.
We've all come in this time. Obviously, it's a common misconception that one person at the top makes all the money in this business, and that's totally not true. You guys know that I'm passionate about if my paycheck is good, then lots of people's paychecks in Dream Builders are good. My goal each month is to have everybody getting paid the most that they can, maxing out what you're going to earn from sharing and promoting the products that we use and love. So that's always the driver for me. So that gives me confidence that this is working for all of us, and we're getting out of this what we want. Now we're getting great skin. I'm here at the markets this morning. I have not an ounce of makeup on my face. 5 years ago, before coming downstairs because there was an au pair living in our house. That's another area where you can look back and think where your skin was 2 years ago or a year ago to where it is today. Because look, none of us are perfect. None of us are going to probably ever be perfect, but to think about the journey that you've come along with your skin, with your business, with whatever it is in life, it just gives that positive, confident outlook. And confidence is what we want in this business. There's so many things that I'm sure you're already confident on, but there's perhaps some things that you're not. So get some help to find out how you can become more confident in those areas.
The kids are
And then
definitely taking
guys,
over.
because it's Sunday and there's low cut with sugar now. I probably can't expect anything more from them. And
I love that
she's
she's
there.
interviews.
Yeah, she's the best.
Have a great day, guys. I hope that next time you do this, I can be there. Hopefully by the middle of the year, I've made a trip to Melbourne, and before this gets 2 hours away, I'm going to leave it with you. It's kid-free.
Ben's gonna buy. He's gonna buy.
Okay, kid-free. See you guys.
Oh my god! Can you just give her a right hook to end? Yeah.
Julie's got off just in time.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Jac.
Thanks, Jac.
Oh, my pleasure, guys.
Everything that you do.
Go and enjoy your Sunday.
Yeah.
I will. And look, always happy to answer questions. Send them through Facebook Messenger, Instagram. I'm always happy to answer them. No problem at all.
However, first, we should all check your Bible. You should check your Bible and then come to you. Otherwise, you will not get any of your own work done.
Yes. Well, I was like, I'm in the process of, I've basically written like every single ingredient, every single regimen, how they work and everything. So I just need to get that over to Kira, Kira Schofield is going to do graphics for it. And then we should have a lovely little business building,
Tool.
reference guide for everything that should help people, and I'll summarize all this information too.
Amazing.
Yes. You can't see us in the camera now because it's up too high, but
Thanks.
Bye.
Enjoy your day, guys.
Bye, Jack.
Bye.
oh my God, how would you keep that going?
Very good.
Amazing.
Very good. No,
Did you record that?
Oh, I think I said yes. I think I had it on auto record.
For Jackie, I feel like I need all of that